Okay. So, greetings again. I'm Jessica with Los Angeles Poet Society. Happy Love Month. I want to thank my partners and collaborators, Radio Ollin, KROJ, yeah, 101.5 FM, and Valley Views, and also Cafe Aficionado. BIPOC Filipino run, yeah. I love it. Full of love here and delicious, delicious lattes. So we're really happy to be here. Happy to see everybody here. Everybody healthy and getting through these couple of years that we've had, and just good to hug each other again and give each other a high five. So we have some wonderful featured poets today or tonight. James Evert Jones, Jeffery Martin, Jessica Villegas. Yeah, you guys can say it. Yeah, I'll go slower. James Evert Jones. Woo-woo. We got Jeffery Martin in the house. Woo-woo. Jessica Villegas in the house. Woo-woo. We got Rosalilia M. Mendoza in the house. Woo-woo. And myself, I'm Jessica M. Wilson Carlinas in the house. Gracias. And we got an open mic for the people. All arts are welcome here. So again, if anybody's watching this, y'all want to come hang with us in Northridge, we're here Valley Fresh, an affectionate open mic, open to all arts. So we hope to see you. Well, that felt pretty cool. It's like, woo. Yeah, the vibrations. Feeling the vibrations, baby. So we're really happy to be here, guys. And I just want to start with land acknowledgement. The Los Angeles Poet Society acknowledges the indigenous peoples of whose land we occupy, including the Tongva, Chumash, Gabrieleño, Fernandeño, Tatavian tribes, and all original peoples, and everybody here on beautiful Turtle Island, Omateo. And I also want to say we stand with Black Lives Matter. We're a non-for-profit community organization serving Los Angeles County and beyond. And we stand with Black Lives Matter in solidarity in the fight for justice in the face of racism, white supremacy, and murder. And yes, definitely we take that very seriously. And also I want to acknowledge all the beautiful sisters and children and the Two-Spirit, the murdered and missing indigenous relatives. I want to acknowledge them. I'm bringing all this up also just to share out that we are, one of the actions of the LA Poet Society is to amplify our voices. We've been doing that since 2009 through our open mics and our different feature events all across LA and even, beyond. But in pandemic in 2020, we started a small press. It's a BIPOC-focused social justice small press called LA Poet Society Press. And we published 2 books so far. And they're dedicated, to amplifying BIPOC voices, but also the subjects of which we serve, social justice. Our first anthology is called Los Angeles Poets for Justice, a document for the people. And that was a call to action after the murder of George Floyd, where we asked for all voices to come together and share what they have to say about what happened and reflecting on all that, the injustice, the brutality, the systemic racism of this country, So we're proud to have published that book. It's an anthology, and then we're going in our 3rd printing. So woo-woo, we're happy for that. Yeah. And we also launched a literary journal called Acid Verse. The first one, volume 1, was called Queer Uprising. And the second one is coming out, and it should be out by next month. And the working title, it's Acid Verse Volume 2, beats The Earth Beneath Our Feet. And that the focus of that volume is working through kind of like spiritual realizations and astrology and astrological realizations and any type of meditation. So big shout to our editor-in-chief, Rosie Alonso. That's her baby and her gift to the community. Yeah. So I thank you, Rosie, if you're watching. And we're going to get this show on the road now. So again, big love, big hearts to everybody watching. Thank you for supporting us, and hope to see more of you guys in person. And we're so happy to be here with our friends here at Cafe Aficionado. So yeah, so we're going to bring up our first feature of the evening. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. And this is one of my friends, my sisters, and a very amazing woman activist, Rosalilia M. Mendoza. And I have her bio. Let me tell you a little bit more about her. Rosalilia M. Mendoza began writing at the age of 10. She began sharing flor y canto in her mid-20s and now writes to heal, to also challenge sexism, colonialism, and create a new narrative for herself as a Chicanx mujer. Her parents migrated from Zacatecas in Michoacán, Mexico, in search of a better future. Through her writing, she hopes to share her family's struggles and resilience to her 2-year-old sunshine, Chal Chihuite. So please welcome Rosalilia to the mic.
Everyone, thank you. Thank you, Café Aficionado, Los Angeles Poet Society, all these awesome poets that we're going to share Flor y Canto tonight. Valley Views, thank you so much for broadcasting. My first piece is called Self-Love. Today I glanced in the mirror. I caress the fine wrinkles crowing my eyes. I smile at the wise grays crowning my hair. I hug the thick hips and curves adorning my body. I softly touched my heart and I whispered, "You are so worthy. Look at how far you've overcome. How many times have you walked fragmented and still managed to find the strength to glue the pieces together? This type of self-love is forever." Now, how many of you know what a nopal is? Yeah, what is it? Me too. It's a cactus. So this is a corona de nopal. So it's a crown of cactus. I wear it proud because it symbolizes the chingonas in my family, guerreras, luchadoras who know how to create an oasis in the dry valleys. It's on my head, keeping my 2 feet grounded on Mother Earth since they cut my umbilical cord. It understands dualities, carrying both flowers and piercing thorns. Sometimes I want to be touched, and other times I just want to be left alone. It is an ancient and knows resilience, for what crown blooms flowers through a desert storm. So I know we hear a lot about self-love and love for romantic partners, which is nice, but what about love for each other, and especially women? Sometimes we're hurting, men are hurting too, and so this is for other women that are hurting. It's called Ellas. I can talk about the haters, las envidiosas. My younger self met them at the tender age of 7. The ones that say, "I got your back," but once you are not looking, backstab and attack. Las chismosas, with lies twist the truth to bring you down and pretend it wasn't them when it comes all around. I can tell how toxic they can be, how fast they become your bestie. You tell them you like the guy, he's now your ex. Oh, they're dating now? Didn't see that coming. Put our whole friendship to the test. I've probably been fooled once, twice, 5, so many times. Why do my scars never heal? Can I not learn anymore? Shattered sisterhoods by the glass of betrayals in the name of love and, yes, men. And I stopped to wonder, is it me or them? I trust so openly. And then it hit me, the epiphany. It starts with one to transform the cycle. Womanhood has suffered 500 years of divide and conquer, trickles down from conquistador to the colonized. You see, we are taught that women are the true villains, from Ursula to witches, from traitors and chingadas, blaming Malinches and the Evas, and can't forget the telenovelas. As long as we accept this narrative, we cannot heal as women. Yeah, so there is all types of love, and sometimes we got to remember that we're learning and we're growing, and we make mistakes, and to forgive ourselves for them. So this is called imperfect. I am the wrinkle on your silk shirt, the crooked line on your ruby red lips, the dirt under your nails. I am imperfect. The big swollen pimple on your nose, the long thin hair on your chin, untamed and imperfect. The yellow armpit stain on your white collar shirt, the crumbles dancing on your face, pretty much imperfect. I am not your trophy wife or hot girlfriend or other half or apple. I am whole. I am the bottle-shaped hips, not the slim fit, the star that shines bright and rebirths the night. If you expect perfection, walk that door, because it is my imperfections that mold, shape, and make me. I learn, grow, and thrive again and again. You don't get to judge my struggles today, yesterday, or tomorrow. So in the healing journey, sometimes it feels like we are continuing and then we stumble again in the same challenge, and then sometimes we become a little hard on ourselves. So if we want to talk about, forgiving ourselves and just remember that the journey is always evolving, and you're always evolving. So, and sometimes the wisdom you gain from the last time, you can apply it now. This is called the journey. Contemplate with the moon, stars, sun, free your mind. Go where the waters run abundant and you can plant all your seeds. Follow the fire within, answer to it, it is lighting your way. Travel with the wind, listening to the voices that lift your highest. And then arrive, let the earth kiss your bare feet, for you are home. Thank you so much, everyone, for the love. This one is my last piece for tonight, and I hope, well, I don't know what to say sometimes, but here it goes. It's called I Choose Me. I just want to know real quick, who's a Leo in here?
Leo, right?
Woo! Aquarius? Sagittarius? Capricorn? Taurus? Yeah. Aries? Pisces?
Yes!
Ah. Capricorn? Oh, yes. Did I name everyone or did I forget someone? Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. Okay. Yeah, so we're a beautiful family here. Okay, so this is called I Choose Me. As I step into my power, the lies I had internalized shed like serpent's old skin. The shame I carried in my heart breaks and my YOLO begins to mend. I see I am worthy. Grateful for the times I said no. If it meant something I had to end. I no longer compromise myself. I step out of the rows of people pleaser, walking on eggshells, dimming my light, hiding my truth, silencing my voice, looking outward for approval. I set myself free from the curses that entered this body. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I love the one about letting go, like, of that narrative of the women being the villain always, right? And that's like, and it's hard because that's something that everybody is taught, that Adam and Eve story. Oh, it's the woman's fault. Can't trust the woman. Can't trust her logic. You can't trust her emotion, or all these things that set up like the feminine to be so negative. And it's yeah, we gotta flip it on its butt, because it's not at all true, and it's just a tale, like a fairy tale, but it's really affected us, so much. But thank you for your words. I loved it. Yeah, one more time for Rosalilia. Yeah, and that reminds me, next month is International Women's Month, and LA Poet Society, we're going to be doing our next roar against patriarchy. This is going to be our fourth roar, so we're excited to put that show together, and, you know, just coming together, banding together, put aside any differences, any pettiness, and just be one, and share our messages, because if one person's hurting and going through something, chances are someone else can relate and is going through that as well. You know, the human experience is what we share, and, you know, we need each other. We need each other. So I also want to announce, so if you guys can see this here, as I said, we're a small press, and this is our call for submissions for our next anthology that we have coming up. It's an anthology regarding the murdered, missing Indigenous women, girls, Two-Spirit. Again, the press isn't a vanity press. It's all about amplifying the voices for causes, for reasons to, you know, a lot of the women don't come back, right? The women that are taken. And so we need to hear about them. We need to hear their stories. We need to learn about them. We can memorialize them in this book, share their story, share resources, and then and also share stories of recovered women. But so this is a call for submissions in that topic. And again, we're looking for stories, memories, a memoir, photo, art, poems, writing, memorials to fallen sisters. So you can send your submissions. It's free to submit. You can submit up to 5 pieces to submissions@lapoetsociety.org. So we hope you guys send some work, and hope, we're not going to give up on this project. If we don't get enough submissions by the end of the year, we'll continue it next year, but we're going to make this book happen, because that's our service to these women and children that have been taken, so.
And most importantly, to stop it from happening.
Exactly, yes, and to stop it from happening. Some folks, it takes them a while to check in and be like, what, that's happening, So yeah, definitely, that's our next anthology. Okay. So this is an open mic, so we have an open mic guest. I'm really excited. Yeah. I got to meet her at an event under the stars a couple months back with the Panorama City folks in the Rock Garden. It was really cool. And I can't wait to see what she has tonight. This is, so give it up for Anjali Berger. Woo!
To myself, I'm so thankful to be here. It was so beautiful to meet you, and you left such an impression on my heart and the work that you do. This is completely in process. It is a rough draft, and I have been a middle school poetry teacher for a long time, but I haven't really done this before outside of my own classroom. So I apologize for anything that is rough. This was written on 5/14/21, and it is still a work in progress. Religion is shaped by context because God speaks to you through context. My God uses the earth. My God uses the trees. My God uses the leaves. My God uses my skin, my breath. Or wait, is that the goddess? Is she the one who transcends context? And God is the structure that speaks her shape. And God is the structure that speaks her shape. And God is the structure that speaks her shape. See? You can't see God's face, but you can see your own, and the stamp of divinity is so clearly shown in your eyes and your hair, in all that's young and all that's grown. Each wrinkle its own river, its own canyon. Each smile holds a memory of its own. Lines worn, life worn, like that jacket that only gets better with time, wearing deep into your own rhythm, your own rhyme. Think of yourself as the only experience you need, like a fruit ripening on its own tree, to be used when ready, plucked, honored, devoured, used. God makes you the gardener of your own garden. Tend to yourself, nourish yourself, Water yourself. Watch your cycles of growth and decay. Feel all the friends who help you along the way, the grasshoppers, the praying mantis, the caterpillar, the ants, the symbiotic relationships that help you thrive. Your roots are always deep in Mother Earth. She is the one who gave birth to your gifts, but you are responsible for taking care of it. Take care of yourself. Tend to yourself. Share the bounty of your gifts from your own tending, your own gardening. Let the juice of your work drip down the chin. Let people laugh in exclamation for each time you sink your teeth in. Don't you thank God for the flavoring, the taste, the wonder of life and creation? How can you know how to take care of an orange tree, but that orange remains a mystery each and every single time, from its seed to its rind? It is a dance, an expression of the infinite mystery of life, an expression of growth through care, through strife, through weather. But every single orange is a complete and strong endeavor. So tend your garden, tend your God, kneel before your tree, your own self-growth, your expanding divinity. Share your bounty, baskets and baskets of fruit as gifts. Nothing is for free. You will always experience reciprocity when rooted in generosity, but the kind of generosity that nurtures the gifts you are sharing. No one benefits when your orange tree is bare. No one benefits when you are dying from wear and tear, when you are lying just a pile of sticks and falling branches, when your soil is dry, when the leaves are full of holes and the fruit, what manages to grow, ekes out a drop of juice, is dry and small. No, you want your tree to be tall, tall, juice. Everyone benefits when you do too. Everyone benefits when you do too. For you are everyone, and everyone is you. The boundaries exist in terms of stride, cadence, shape. The leaf is not the orange, is not the trunk, is not the sky, but all are in rhythm and seen through the same eye. All are created from the same deep spring of life. All are dancing to joy and strife, to joy and pain, to music and rain. Feel the pulsing rhythm all around you. Move in harmony, in tune. Don't forget your body is beloved too. Don't forget you have all the colors of the universe inside of you. What are your shades, your reds, your blues? What are your colors, your hues? Discover them, uncover them. Exclaim in wonder as you watch them form and ripen. Pluck them, share them, wear them, show them. Keep them safe. Keep them private too. Maybe some of your colors are just for you. God's sacred gift given just for you.
Yeah, she's got us floored. I mean, if this was my mic, I'd be like, drop that. Boom, right there. Anjali Berger. That was absolutely incredible. That was like an epic anthem of like your like self-love right there. Like, oh my gosh. I love how you said maybe some of the colors were only meant for you, you know? Like, we don't have to give it all away. Give it all out. Like, you know, I love that. Tending to ourselves. Oh, we need that. We need that. Let's just take a moment. Let's take a moment. Let's tend to ourselves. Let's do that. Let's sit up straight, plant tall, your body, yourself, your presence. Let it be known. Let's just breathe in together. 1, 2, 3. And exhale. And just pause a moment. That's awesome. Moment though. Yeah, sometimes we're just running so fast. Next thing happening in our life, right? Next thing, gotta get to the next place, gotta do that, you know. And you don't pause. I know I feel it. I don't pause. And it feels, it's so needed. It's just a moment, right? A moment for you. Take a moment for yourselves, y'all. Take a moment for yourselves. Yeah, that's part of self-love. I know I've been teaching it. I teach at a high school. And thank you. We got a lot of teachers in the room. Poets, all these poets, we're all, carrying this wisdom. We can't help but observe the world and observe ourselves and get all, we examine everything. And it's hard to keep that to yourself. When you realize something, you got to share it out loud and be like, I got to help y'all. Or I don't know if it's going to help y'all, but let me just give it to you and see what you can do with it. Because it's helped me out. And, I've been with those teens, and I'm like, it doesn't matter about partners, self-love. Valentine's, you're worthy. You are worthy. You're worth it. Think about you. You got to love you before you can give any love out or accept the love that others want to give you. You got to be cool with you first. So that's what I've been telling them. And just, sharing that message of self-love. And they got it. A lot of them are like, yeah, I know what I'm worth. I value myself, so... big hearts to all the kids in San Fernando Valley. Love you guys. Woo-hoo. Keep your head up. You guys are doing what you got to do. All right. So I'm going to bring up our next featured poet. And wow, this is awesome. Feels so good. All right. And our next featured poet is going to be James Evert Jones. Yes. The maestro of expressions. The coffee fix. Oh my God, we go back to even the Amsterdam Cafe, I think in NoHo. James Evert Jones has curated and hosted spoken word events for over 30 years throughout LA County. Yeah. James hosts the monthly spoken word live reading series and the twice monthly Expressions LA reading series through his volunteer work with the Los Angeles Public Library. Yes. His work has been featured in Redshift, Spectrum, The Moment, A Decade of Sundays, Voices from Leimert Park, Redux, the Sparring with Beatnik Ghosts, Omnibus, and Onyx, Spoken Word, among others. James is a 2017 and 2019 recipient of the President's Volunteer Service Award. And it's so exciting to see him and an honor to have him here. Let's hear it for James Evert Jones. And he's a bit taller than I am, so I'm going to go take a guess.
Yeah, you can use.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Either way looks good.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
And just want to give a huge big ups and props to Jessica Wilson, who got all of us here together. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. I got a few here, and I'm going to start off with this one. Let's write a love song. Turn to your man, turn to your woman. Put everything you feel right now in a crystal capsule of dewdrops and roses. Take it between your thumb and forefinger. Raise your arm, hold it right there under God's great sunlight, and document the rainbow. Let's write a love song. Take your heart in hand and pen to paper. Close your eyes and let yourself enter a Zen state. Don't breathe. Don't move. Don't talk. Don't even think. And when you finally inhale, gaze at the page and read the wonder of what your heart has written. Let's write a love song. It's there in your lover's eyes. The taste of an ice cream cone in August, the wagging tail of a puppy or the giggle of your child. The first stroke of makeup on your face or your first touchdown. The crush you had on that gorgeous teacher in elementary school. Your first date, your first kiss, the first time your soul broke out skydiving, falling to the ground at breakneck speed, the paralyzing flat-out fright of the earth rushing up and you didn't even care. Let's write a love song. Write it to him, write it to her, write it to yourself if that's who you love. Write until you laugh, write until you cry, write until all you want to do is hold her waist tighter, kiss his lips harder. Say I love you in his or her ear like an echo off a cliff until it's as subliminal as smoke, as overwhelming as a freight train, as safe as a blanket in November. Until you can send I love you across the room to him and to her to him or to her without even looking and know they got the message. Let's write a love song. Let's do it now. Let's do it later in private in a personal package or in public so the world will know that you are this love. that you are this light, that the two of you have made Camelot from chaos, grown Eden in Metropolis, solved the riddles of the pyramids and the merger of lips and hearts and hands, and tell everyone in this whole God-blessed universe that he or she and you are heaven on this earth. Take your heart in hand and pen to paper, and let's write a love song. Okay, this one's entitled Stax, Atlantic, and Motown. By the time we hit junior high, the boys in the hood broke off into two factions. The falsettos were on one side. We was the ones who was always smiling and styling. We had fine threads, nice shoes, gold chains, and afros out to here. Hair in the shape of a perfect globe and smelling like blowout cream. We was the Paul Williamses and the Smokey Robinsons, the Michael Jacksons and the Curtis Mayfields. We was smooth. S-M-O-O-V. Standing in a half circle harmonizing like Stax, Atlantic, and Motown. You got a smile so bright, you know you could have been a candle. We didn't walk down the street, we would glide and stroll, and our feet never touched the ground, yeah. We was the dreamers and the schemers, and shit couldn't touch us because we was just that cool. Now across the street lived the baritones, the dark-skinned, thick-legged boys. Most of them ninth graders trying to act grown, trying to sound like Barry White, Isaac Hayes, or Melvin Franklin. Some of them tried to sound hard like David Ruffin, but even seventh grade me knew that you just can't be David Ruffin. Baritones didn't have afros. They called it a natural. Their hair wasn't round like ours and it always looked unfinished. Some of them had a pick they kept in their natural, looking like a fist growing out the back of their head, just like falsettos had cake cutters punching holes in their jean pockets. Baritones walked bold, like a freight train. They would even step on sidewalk cracks. Some would say they even made them. They was the slow kids, not to be confused with the dumb ones, and yeah, they was the bad kids, always getting into shit even if they didn't start it. Falsettos had school clothes and play clothes. The baritones just had play clothes, but they was always pressed and clean, and they church clothes was always nice. We played football in the street, baseball in the yard, and basketball on the court. And we never called each other nigger. We saved that word for the lowest disdain. We saved that word for the dealers and the thieves and the pimps and the toms and junkies who stole from grandma. Back in the day, nigger was reserved for the con men, the snakes, and the ones who hated their skin. What we did was we called ourselves brother. And we called ourselves men. Spelled with 10 to 34 A's in the middle. We called ourselves men, accompanied by a secret handshake. We called ourselves men, because it meant to us that we was always equal. Falsettos always got play while baritones got the job done. Now falsettos were the tease, and the baritones were the promise keepers, the true friends and the hitmen. They had Nubian women on their bedroom wall. Falsettos had Isaac Hayes on theirs. But we wouldn't tell nobody. And damn, when we fought, we'd fight like hell. Over cash or over women. We fight like hell over your mamas or your daddies, and especially over your grandmamas. We fight like hell, and the kids would form a boxing ring. Now, it wasn't no rope-a-dope then, because a rope would just push you back in the ring, but 2 minutes later, after skin knuckles and busted lips, there would come an understanding, and we'd move on to the next class. After school on Fridays, the falsettos and baritones could stay out and play late. We played football in the street, baseball in the yard, and basketball on the court till it was dark. And on Friday nights, we'd hang out in the alley behind where my house sat on top of garages and the acoustics were real nice. And we'd stand in a circle and harmonize. And with harmony, there ain't no guns going off. And with harmony, there ain't no crying mamas. And with harmony, there ain't no children gone too soon. Just falsettos and baritones and Stax, Atlantic, and Motown coming from the alley after dark on a Friday night. In Armstrong Park, at the Tranquility Settlement, Olivia Engel and Jesse Lewis play catch with a mile of space between them. Olivia tracks the baseball with the cartographic overlays Jesse designed for her contacts, and with her, the whole world watches on this first pitch on the moon, on their Instagram, sending likes and loves and wows instantaneously. 18 seconds later, Jesse and Olivia break the Guinness World Record for social networking engagement, racking up 10 billion views 12 seconds before the ball even reaches her glove. Meanwhile, Lance Kirkland completes his 25-year prison sentence for leaking an adaptive AI source code for military drones. The effects of his treason were almost immediate. All war ceased. There was no longer a point to it. The drones ran trillions upon trillions of simulations, of shifting global alliances, of anticipated firmware upgrades, or of the comparative rates of self-reparations, of stalemate after stalemate after stalemate, and then they simply just shut down. Many Americans were still watching television and never even noticed. A grateful world pays his $5 billion fine to a GoFundMe account with another $5 million for his retirement. Lance walks out of prison, a rich man. Later, President Elena Petty issues a pardon to Lance. Her vice president, Alex Schachter, invites Lance to dinner at the Aldrin Summit of Armstrong Park. They dine on lobster, harvested from reforested oceans, scrubbed of plastic microbeads and vagabond beer cans. Alex says the lunar gravity forces you to eat more slowly. Lance takes in the scent of dill and drawn butter, accenting the lemony tang of cracked pepper and romaine lettuce bursting on his palate as he watches the earth eclipse the sun like a door closing. A world blocking sunlight, throwing darkness on the future, the way a lid gently closes on a child's coffin, throwing darkness on the future of sight, of playing catch, of civil disobedience. Olivia Engel and Jesse Lewis attended Sandy Hook Elementary School until December 14th, 2012. Lance Kirkland attended Columbine High School until April 20th, 1999. President Elena Petty and Vice President Alex Schachter attended Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School until February 14th, 2018. Their futures and ours thrown into darkness like the eclipsing of a sun, the closing of a door, or the blanketing of silent soil over a young adult. And still, we have yet to grasp, even in this dimming present, that with each school shooting, we lose so much more than children. Whew. Thank you. This will be my last one. This is entitled Speaking of Now. Speaking of now, I find it ironic that this word, now, is its own antonym, like cleave, which means both to attach as well as separate. Now can define urgency and imply anxiety, but also It can define surety and instill comfort. It can be a period, a point on the page and its attendant finality, or it can be an ellipsis, 3 points on a page, bringing the future into flux. Now is immutable and yet fluid. There's this woman I love. I can close my eyes and see her now. And yet, this apparent singularity begets this multitude of innumerable nows. My heart synchronizes with Tito Puente's timbales. My blood flows like Hendrix's guitar. I breathe Miles and Gillespie, Lennon and McCartney, the Temps and the Supremes, and Stevie Nicks and Stevie Wonder, and it's wonderful. A fullness that scours this point on a page, inferring a terminus. Inundated and freshened by an abundant now, a copious now, jetting like an unplugged hydrant. This cataclysmic purging now showers half-clothed children on ghetto summer streets, their screams and laughter scribing jingling notes on musical rainbow scores, rinsing clean the dirt beneath the neighborhood's nails. The social mugginess, the omnidirectional rage of its poor and its young. A cathartic now unfurls a dance floor of sweet streets and sound stages. A now of monochromatic George Gershwin becomes a now of Rodgers and Hammerstein in Technicolor, of Lin-Manuel Miranda on IMAX screens and surround sound. Each dance more vibrant than the preceding now, each breath more precious than the previous now. I can close my eyes and see it. This point on a page inferring a terminus becomes a dilating pupil in a soft brown spiral. This point on a page becomes an ellipsis of lips, a future in flux, a singular kiss for this woman I love. A culminating symphony of all the preceding nows and a germinating seed for all of the nows to follow. And speaking of now, this charming oxymoron, this demand and assurance, this question and answer, this photographic now developed and displayed in a hippocampus gallery, this point on a page becomes a hook on the wall, a contemporaneous parade of the nanoseconds of being. The now of my hand, tiny and finite, finally reaching the light switch. The now of my minuscule lifetime, finally waking to Christmas morning. Finally, this photographic now, finally graduating 6th grade, kissing my first girlfriend, buying my first car, crashing my first car without insurance. Yes, even pictures of mistakes. And the now of my adult hand, tiny and finite, reaching for answers like a light switch in the dark, groping for the nows resting inches beyond touching. And speaking of now, this charming oxymoron, this demand and assurance, this question and answer, this molecule and horizon, an itching riddle of how to incorporate a now. This point on a page inferring an assessment, 3 points on a page implying a pathway, a future in flux, reckoning the pointillism of bathing my newborn and watching her walk, with the Jackson Pollock splashes of losing her trust and having her walk without me. I can close my eyes and see her now. This beautiful child, tiny and finite, and the astounding now of the nights I spent just watching her breathe. The inquisitive now, watching her face deciphering a mouthful of cheesecake. A confounding now on the day she asked questions I was unprepared to answer. This vexing oxymoron, this demand and assurance, this molecule and horizon, these nanoseconds of being, a multitude of innumerable nows, and the one now that fears that my canvas is full and that I'd have no room for this child I adore or this woman I love. And now that I speak of now, I am reminded that now is its own antonym, that every singular moment can be now, and that every conceivable moment can be now, anxious and sure. Urgent and comfortable, and my adult hands, tiny and finite, halting and adroit, young and wizened, unhooks the canvas, cleaves it from the wall, and flips it as one would a light switch. And the canvas, like now, is at once a masterpiece and a clean slate. And it remains its own antonym as I realize this clean slate is my future. And it's now. Thank you.
Evert Jones. That was James Evert Jones, everybody. Woo. We just call him the voice. Another voice. Sorry, I know Rosalilia has the voice, like the voice, but this is the voice. Okay, listen to James for a while, be like, happy Valentine's, guys. Okay, that was deep. Oh my God, especially the one that you wrote for the children that died. School shootings. I think we do need to continue the conversation, and that is definitely something tragic that is plaguing the country. We gotta, again, working in the schools, I know one of the things that I've been exposed to that I see is different than from when I was going through school, which was about 30 years ago. Yeah, 5 years, sure. 5 years ago, yeah. But the schools now have what they call psychiatric social workers on site, many of them that are there, along with academic counselors, but they have folks that are specialized in psychology, and also we teach in the classroom socio-emotional wellness. So, that I think is a great thing that we're doing now, and a great bridge to extend to the youth, that, hey, you can talk about what you're feeling. Let's take a moment. Let's reflect. Let's just, speak out, right? And in my class, I always tell them, I keep it so real. Oh my God. If I'm an activist poet here, imagine what I am in the class side. I don't hold back because I gotta be real with them. Thank you, guys. And but yeah, the school system, they've included those new, spaces and new subjects, just allowing a child to be able to share what they're going through. Even if they don't even know they're going through something. A lot of times kids are just going, and feeling, but no one stops to be like, hey, I see you. What's up? I see you. Like, you want to talk? Let's talk. Or, I see you. Let's just take a breath, And I think that's so important. And I'm glad this school system's at least offering that. So hopefully we can help more of the youth and we don't see more school shootings happening. So yeah, definitely. But thank you, James. Thank you for your poetry. And thank you for holding space for others and all your wonderful events that you have. And he's got me next Tuesday. I'm so excited. I'll be on Zoom. Yeah, well, Zoom with me Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Yeah. If you follow LA Poet Society, I'll put the flyer up there online. But, and it's open mic, right? So y'all can share your work. Awesome. All right. Speaking of open mic, do I have any other takers that want to share at the mic? Anybody else in the room that wants to share? The mic is yours. I have the sign-up sheet on the big, beautiful community table. And again, let's give it up for Cafe Aficionado, our host tonight. Woo-hoo! We're here at, Abby. Woo-hoo! We love you. And everybody here online, we're at 8904 Reseda Boulevard in Northridge. You can't miss us. Come hang out. Okay. Before I bring up our next feature, I wanted to just make an announcement, talk about another organization that collaborates with LA Poet Society, and that's the Pacoima Urban Village. This is a nonprofit that's been around for over 30 years, and their services range from health services, diabetes education, to youth empowerment. We've had open mics, with them, but also domestic violence education. I would say domestic violence is one of their main foci, focuses. Children's counseling, individual therapy, family therapy. Our team are certified, and they are here for you. So I just, want to just shout out to Pacoima Urban Village, and I've been handing out some of their flyers to the audience here. But, just wanted to share that. And next Saturday, or, on the 21st of February, I think that's next Saturday, I'm not sure. Monday? Oh, oh gosh. On Monday, okay. Thanks, guys. They're doing a workshop, Living with Asthma, with our nurse, Diana Mosley, RN. So she's going to be giving a workshop from 10 to 12. Oh, it is the 26th. Okay, never mind. 26th. So it is a Saturday, 10 to 12 on Zoom. You can follow the Pacoima Urban Village on Instagram. Check out their Facebook. But, free services, and I just wanted to do the shout out and invite everybody that would like to join. And also, they are looking for leadership and folks to serve on the board, and I'm a board member for Pacoima Urban Village, so if anybody wants to be a mover shaker or have specific goals or just areas of focus that you want to help, like I know domestic violence, Monique from Demachila Quetzalcoatl, she's joined and has been a service with that, with that focus, helping women. I work with the org, and I work on open mics and children's reading time and things like that. So anyhow, they are definitely open for more volunteers and people that want to be involved. So just putting it out there to everybody. Okay. All right, so we're going to continue with our guests, our featured poets that are here. Thank you for hanging out with us on Instagram and Facebook, y'all, and tuning in with Valley Views and Radio Ollin, and it's awesome to see everybody. Okay, so our next guest is Jeffery Martin. Woo woo! And man, absence makes the heart grow super, super fun. I would see Jeffery like every day or a few days a week, and hadn't seen him now in 2 years or so. So it was just so awesome, a feast for my eyeballs to see you and seeing you thriving and just smiling. And but let me introduce him. Jeffery Martin is an author of 12 books and a contributor to 8 anthologies. He's currently finishing up his first novel and working on his first full-length film script. So he is a super writer. He used to also, he would host open mic at Tia Chucha's Centro Cultural and Bookstore, so he's part of the Tia Chucha family as well. And I'm really happy to have him here. Let's hear it for Jeffery Martin.
Before I came here, I was listening in on some poetry that was going on Instagram Live. And one of the poets said that us poets are on assignment. And it hit me. I'm like, on assignment. We have a certain responsibility as poets. And sometimes you don't know, well, at least for me, I'll speak for myself. I didn't know what poetry involved, what it entailed, until I went through some things. And once I went through some things, I realized that those things would create the writer that I would become. And when she said we're on assignment, it hit a chord like, yeah, that's exactly what we have a certain responsibility. It's not just words on the page. It's actually touching lives well beyond our scope. So anyway, salute to all you poets. You just never know where life is going to take you. And the last couple of years have been pretty rough for everybody, COVID and all of that stuff. But right before COVID, there was somebody I wanted to interview. I'd always wanted to interview. It took me 7 years to interview him, but I finally interviewed him in 2019. That was Noam Chomsky. Wow. Yeah, it took me a while. And great man. But when we finally sat down and talked, I told him, and I think what interested him was, I told him, Mr. Chomsky, what I want to do is sit down and talk to you, ask you some questions, and based on what you answer me, I'm going to write poetry based on that. And he said nobody had approached him like that before. Like, oh yeah, we got to do that just because you're going to. So that's what I did. Yeah. So I'm going to read you from, and it's called Muse Moments, Poetry Inspired by Noam Chomsky. And I didn't publish one poem that he didn't okay. I would send it to him email and say, you like this one? He says, why do you keep doing that? I like them all. Just do it. But I wanted to get his blessing on every poem that I wrote. So, yeah. But he was a great man. When I walked in his office, I saw he had three pictures on the wall. He had a picture of Martin Luther King, Bertrand Russell, and Father Romero. That's the only three pictures he had on this wall. And when I looked and I saw Father Romero, I said, wow, that's a good picture of Father Romero. And he said, you're the first person to walk in here that recognized Father Romero. I said, well, Mr. Chomsky, I'm like you. I'm a nerd. I read everything. So that's why I know. So based on those pictures I saw in his office, I came up with this poem. It's conversation, but in Swahili, it's called Manzungumzo, which means conversation in Swahili. And it's based on these three having a conversation in wherever we go, whether you call it heaven or space, whatever. But it's these three having a conversation. Conversation. Let freedom ring, they all three sat around the table to discuss each other's work, their attitudes, the promises, and where the dangers lurked. Martin was a bit quiet, and Father Romero too. Bertram took this as a sign that now was his cue. The good life is one inspired by love and guided by knowledge, he said. The two men in his presence agreed and shook their heads. Martin chimed in with verbiage sensible yet recondite, moving Father to his core as he said and sighed, there are many things that can only be seen through eyes that have cried. Yes, yes, Martin's voice boomed as his eyes began to tear. The power of words have power even here. Bertram raised his hand as a smile covered his face. My God, what is this place? We have assembled to discuss man at length, but it feels as though I'm garnering some unfamiliar strength. Martin looked at Father and replied, prayer must mean something, if only that we tried. The three men stood. Bertrand let out a sound, resembling a quiet scream, nodding his approval for such words and what they mean. They were in deep silence in the room, reflections overflowing, thought in full bloom. Bertram said it first, and then Martin, followed by Father Romero, all encaptured by singing of a sparrow. Did we do enough, they said in unison, not needing to reply. Prayer must mean something, if only that we tried. That's conversation. And yeah, we had so many interesting conversations that when he'd say something, I just write it down and say, okay, I'm going to write something about that. They look upon us is based on one of those conversations too. They look upon us as we make our way, find our way, create our way. The journey calls for strength, they remind us. Expect nothing easy, but realize there can be nothing too hard where seeds have been planted and paths already forged. They look upon us with the power that speaks of sacrifice and undaunted spirits, which have become one with the spirit world, that talks to us in quiet moments before storms that will come, have come, and will continue coming, as long as we try to make something of this life. They look upon us, these ancestors, in the subtle gust of wind, in the cleansing burst of rain, in the magnificent shadows of sunsets. They have gone before us to etch out a path that will not allow the same mistakes to forestall our impending greatness. They give us music and dance and poetry so that they may witness what lessons we've learned. They look upon us as our baby steps transform into majestic strides towards the sacred relevance of understanding life's true purpose, of being a breathing, feeling instrument of good. They look upon us. And like I said before, you just never know where life is going to take you. Early on, as a young man coming up, I always felt like I was cursed. whatever was going to happen bad, it happened to me. I felt like, oh my God, what's going on? But I didn't realize that, well, I'll give you an example. I was talking to a Muslim brother. I was living in New York. My kids were small. The refrigerator was empty half the time. And I'm complaining to this Muslim brother that I knew. He was an older cat. And I was like, gosh, this is going on. I got 3 jobs. I can't keep food. My babies are hungry. I don't know what to do. And he listened to me and he said, you know what that is, right? I said, no, I don't. He says, you know what creates a diamond? And I didn't want to be disrespectful, but in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to hear about no fucking diamond. I'm struggling here. I didn't want to hear that. But I didn't say anything. I just thought it. I said, no, I don't know what creates a diamond. He says, fire and heat. He said, what life is doing to you is it's producing a diamond in you. So don't run away from it. Run towards it. And you'll see yourself begin to become that diamond that life wants from you. So you just never know. Reason I say that is another thing that really influenced my writing was about 7 or 8 years ago, I had a chance to go to Colombia, which has become like my second. I love Colombia. Absolutely love Colombia. And so just being with the people, and I did the same thing, but I did it in my mind. I didn't ask anybody. I said, I'm going to go to Colombia one summer, spend the summer, and I'm going to write about everything that Colombia does for me. And that's what I did for Colombian Fingerprints. And it's in English and Spanish. So this is some of the thoughts that I had. Yeah. So these are some of the thoughts that I'm just going to read a couple out of here. Yeah. We pretend. We charge our batteries, put on our camera-ready face, quote some relevant facts, and call ourselves revolutionaries. We write thesis papers denouncing powers that sign our paychecks, ensure our status, guaranteed our tenure, convincing ourselves that we speak for the people. From our enclave, we bypass realities by theorizing about them, throwing them into the ether with polysyllables, leaving them no closer to fixture than their manufacturers. We pretend as we step over our neighbor, acknowledging him when time permits, giving long cadences in his honor but far removed from his presence. The downtrodden fill textbooks with their struggle, creating livelihoods for those who are familiar with their silhouettes, outlines of their being, but whose distance prohibits even the slightest of dialogues. We hug our brothers and sisters with words, but we find the touch of their swollen hands distasteful and alarming. For we have grown comfortable with them in a land or a community far away. We quote Martin, we quote Che, we quote Malcolm, we quote Chavez, we quote Tubman, we quote quotes. They call upon giants, but mirroring nothing. We feel empowered by describing them because they are not us. And this brings us a sigh of relief because observers like to dictate what the laboratory rules. But observers like to dictate the laboratory rules, but avoid being the experiment that is left for the revolution that they are sure and hoping will never come. Last one. And yeah, Colombia is such a beautiful, beautiful, the reason and I'll be honest in front of all these poets or people in the room, one of the main reasons I love traveling is I don't have to be a black man when I go other places. That's what I found. I love it. Why do you like to travel so? Because I don't feel like a black man in America when I go somewhere else. Colombia, I'm just a dark Colombian. That's it. There's none of that distasteful look or those looks or those sighs or when you're going. For me, it was healthy. For me, mentally, it was healthy to leave America for a little while, go to South America, where I felt like just a regular person. Black people, you should try it. Black people should try it. Totally different. Totally different. I absolutely love just being anonymous. I really did. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Last one. Thank you all for having me up here. I really appreciate it. So I got to end it with a song for Colombia. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love Colombia. They've treated me with nothing but love. It's just a beautiful place. It really is. It gets a bad rep. Oh, and in fact, Colombia turned things around. It took them about 20 years, but I think it was Medellin held the biggest poetry festival in the world a few years back. So they turned that whole city around through the arts. That's how important and powerful the arts are. But anyway, a song for Colombia. If I could speak Spanish, I would write a song for Colombia. Fill it with cumbia beats, tell of the strong hands and backs that give her vibrancy. I would harmonize about the small dirt roads that share stories, even if one doesn't share the language. I would sing of her coffee-filled hills that bleed into every home a brown liquid, which sustains the country, but more importantly, sits hot and waiting for a passing neighbor. Song for Colombia. Thank you all for having me.
Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, Jeffery Martin. Let's give it up for Jeffery Martin one more time. Yes. Oh my goodness, that was incredible, and it was great to hear some of the favorites that I've had from you too, and like the new work. And I love the idea of your book with Noam Chomsky, that it's a respond in a poem from the conversations. That's awesome. I gotta get your book. He's got books on the table, y'all. Definitely support. Check out the goodies. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. But gosh, that was some truth right there for sure. And I was fortunate to go abroad myself, and I mean, I'm not dark. Well, I'm brown. I'm pretty dark brown, but I'm not black. But I could tell, like, I went to France, and it's just like, dang, everybody's just another person, and it feels amazing. It feels amazing, like just a citizen of the world, another human, another man or another woman. That's it, right? And coming back to the United States, after that and seeing how, black folks are treated abroad, I'm just like, damn, man, like, it's liberating, and like, I can totally see why it's like definitely helps, for mental health and releases all that anxiety, because I mean, my husband, well, y'all know Juan. Hi, Juan. But as an immigrant, too, with Juan, he's so persecuted here. Like, he's some, like, super alien being from outer space or whatever. And he's just another man, And it's just these boxes that people put everybody in this, it's racism is what it is, that everybody just, not everybody, but that is so common in the States. To exclude people, and for people to be gatekeepers and have that like authority or that privilege over others, and it's really terrible because it makes you feel like less than human, and it's a horrible thing. You don't know as much until you leave and come back. But you leave and come back, you're like, wow. Yeah. It feels different. People have talked about it and written about it, but when you do it yourself, yeah. Yeah. There's just like this whole hierarchy of acceptance of color, and then, oh, where are you from? Where are you? Where are they born? Okay, because it's like your lineage has to be able to define how someone's going to judge you right now. And I've felt that my whole life. And when it's my turn, you're going to hear some of my poems. But yeah, I feel you, and thank you for sharing that. And damn, we gotta change this country. We've got so much work to do here, guys. It's like it feels good to go away, but it's also we gotta be here and fight and change it too for the others, for the next generations, and got our work cut out for us. But it we have been making change. I feel like things have definitely shifted since the '60s. Definitely, but all right, I'll pause. I'll put myself on pause for a moment. I want to bring up our next poet. And then is there anybody that wants to share? I know we have some singers in the house. We have some other poets in the house. Anybody want to feel inspired or creative? I'm looking at Johnny. I'm like, Johnny? Did you bring your harana? Oh my goodness. Johnny and Rosalilia, they also are part of the Tia Chucha family, and they would teach son jarocho classes and zapateado, on the box and everything. So they've been keeping the culture alive and passing the knowledge and on to the next generations. And they got their little baby child over there, so adorable. So thank you for everything you do for the community. All right. Thank you, guys. All right. So our next poet at the mic is another sister. Her name's also Jessica, mi tocaya, right? Got another Jessica in the house. Woo-woo. JV, yeah, yeah. J-Dub over here, yeah, yeah. So let me introduce you to Jessica Villegas. Woo-woo. All right, so Jessica Villegas was born and raised in the beautiful city of Silmar, California. She started writing poetry at a young age. She has always had a love for poetry and how words can take you on a roller coaster of emotions. She grew up listening to trios and oldies. Music has always been a big part of her world. Her favorite hobbies include taking her parents to the casino, I love that, and getting dressed up to people watch at upscale bars. All right. Jessica is passionate about people and forgiveness. Hey. See that? We're live right there, guys. That one, that's real right there. Let's see. So yeah, she's passionate about people and forgiveness. She also owns her own social media marketing company where she helps small business grow their social media platforms through SEO, email campaigns, and content creation. She also sells merchandise and accessories online. You can check out millennialamor.com. You can use she got a code, millennialamor, for 15% off. So definitely, we all got to support each other. So she does a lot for community. She's a writer, and I'm excited she's here tonight. So let's hear it for Jessica Villegas.
What's up? Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing? So, my name is Jessica Villegas. I'm going to be starting with a couple of my poems from Letters to My Exes, which is my first book, but I'm finishing up another one, and I've been editing this one for a while, so I'm going to switch off and just read a few from here. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. This one's called AMF. Does anybody know what AMF means? Adios, mother. Yeah, it's the drink. Happy hour drink. Adios, mother. Shh. AMF. Okay. So it just puts you in the mentality of it. It's a drink too. You are a fool to think I don't know what you do. Drenching me with kisses like I don't know where your lips have been, trying to cover up a body of lies of where you spend your time, that you are with her. She wins again. Another contest for your love? Is this what you wanted? Two bitches fighting for you? Fighting for your love? I am not amused, nor will I compete. Your love is for bitches and I am a queen. Sometimes they try to play you, Definitely goes both ways, though. So I just like to put that out there. Women and men. This one's called Catatonic Love. So Letters to My Exes is just a voice for women. I wrote it in the intention of being a voice for the women who think they have to stay quiet after a heartache, because we're trained to, do it in our own time, hurry up, be quick, get under somebody else. And we have to know that it's a grieving process. You go through a mix of emotions, and no matter what kind of relationship it is, whether it's a romantic one, whether it's a friendship, you could even mourn a loss of a pet or a job. So I think it's important to take time. This one's called Catatonic Love. When you left, I felt a pain that wrapped me at my feet and pierced me in my brain, that coiled like a snake, leaking venom in my veins, causing me to suffocate, causing me to act irate. Now a prisoner of your love, you have me locked up in a cage, begging like a bitch to see the sun of brighter days. You have drained me of my dreams. You have left me for my doom. You have locked me in a cage. You have left me wanting you. Sometimes it's paralyzing, and you can't really do nothing. But it's okay, take your time. I think rushing into something isn't good. I read in an article, it takes half the time. Like, let's say, for instance, if you're in a relationship with somebody for 4 years, it takes 2 years of a grieving process. So just think about that. Let me see. Okay, now this is a different one. So when you get out of the sadness and you start to get angry a little bit. So this was written in an angry time. So this one's called The Bitch is Wicked, Wicked Bitch. I'll dance to our song at the wedding, and you wouldn't even know it. The cake, vanilla cream, your favorite. The dress will be for you. The fragrance only you'd approve. The vows I speak, not meant for him, but you. I will take him to our places, and he'll think, they're our places. When I'm making love to him, I'll close my eyes and think of you. He is a pawn in my game until you lose. So the last one I'll be finishing from here is when you're already over it. You've gone back and forth, done the game, and you're just like, leave me alone, okay? So it's called Don't Email Me Either. Because you know when you block them, then they start to email you, right? Well, okay, maybe that's too much, I'm disclosing too much. Why do you continue to call? I no longer want you. You miss my touch, how could that be? You needed more than me. Giving my love to you, you giving your love to others? Did you think I did not know? You brought them to our bed, now they live inside me, they live inside my head. Strangers in my bed bringing sand into my bed. But my light turned on, it finally clicked, you've turned me off, you make me sick. There is no coming back, no apology necessary. No promises to be made, no forcing you to change. You made your choice, you laid your bed, you decided our fate when you went astray. I hope next time you choose to think when you come across a woman like me. So, yeah. So this is letters to my exes. I don't have any. I went to another place and I did good. I sold out, so woo, but I don't have any here. This next one is a little bit still love shit, you know, still that emotional stuff, you know, but it's also mental health and what it's like to be a Chicana. I've been messing with the title a little bit, but the way I've been feeling, I have it titled right now, The Desensitization of a Chicana. And that's trying to be two different people, two different personalities, sometimes three different people in order to be in this world, you know? And there's a saying that you're not from neither here nor there. I grew up with it. I grew up with my family calling me a pocha, a white girl, you know? Not belonging neither here nor there because I still have my curly hair and my accent and my Villegas. So this is a little bit of that. Now, I told you it's still some love shit, so this first one is a little bit of that love. I don't know these men. It's about time I freed you guys. Let you go. Remove you from my sugar, the sticky honey you adore, the sweet taste of me. Teach you how to walk, smile, breathe. Cut you off completely. Now go be better men, for you're next. We were nothing anyways. 1,000 times you said to me, now you have less than nothing. Now you don't even have me. That's from chapter 1, Sad Girl Still. So, let's see. This one's called X Me. Sometimes you have dreams and you reminisce, especially if it was the first love, or you have good memories. There was a question that you asked, if you could erase all memories, would you? How many of you would erase your memories if you could? Right? Because there's still some good ones in there. All right. I can still taste your lips when I close my eyes. They taste like candy from the gas station. Starburst, your favorite, my treat. I like to run my tongue on your teeth and take a bite. Rolling on your tongue on yours, do you miss mine? She misses you. Do you taste like candy? Are you still sweet? This next one I wrote because I hate the way they treated essential workers after they were done using and abusing us. And now we have to use our own sick days and our own sick time when we get COVID, even though it's out of our control. And the stress that we've been through has been emotionally draining for everybody. People are working longer hours, people are out of jobs, people are hustling. And it can put you in a bad mental state. And then they label you clinically depressed, okay? So this one's for the people that are struggling out there. I got you, I wrote something for you. There have been days you prefer the bed, and those days turn into a week of your skin touching the cool fitted sheet, laying lifeless, eyes open, still as a silhouette, as if you had the choice to move. No sound, tears screaming in silence, collecting on your sheets next to your pride. So you lose your job, your lights, your car. You snap out of it. But it's too fucking late. Your mental health break is costly. But who would hire you if you told the truth? Even if you sleep in brilliant ideas, nobody pays for glimpses. People want all of you all the time, and it's exhausting. I don't know how much time I have, but these are shorter. I'm good? Okay. This one's for my cruisers. Who likes to take late night drives? Yeah? Okay. So these are late night drives with you. You remember those nights we would drive for hours? Those nights when we couldn't fall asleep? How we would pull over on the open road, lay our head back and mute our phones? You would open the sunroof so I could see the stars, then hold my hand and point to ours. And I would lay my head on your chest. You tell me stories while stroking my breasts. And I would laugh and pound your thigh, and you would smile and I'd cry. Happy to be yours, happy to be mine. Happy fools in love, happy fools on borrowed time. This is for my men who get it hard. It's hard to be a man, and I'm not trying to be like, one of those women that stay for men, for different purposes. It's just that we have to break the stigma that men are strong all the time, that are providers all the time. Just like we need emotional check-ins, they do too. And sometimes it just doesn't go fucking right for them. And when it doesn't go right for a man, you're seen as a failure and the world throws you away. And not as bad as women, So this one's called Lottery Joe. I knew a man who was a wonderful man, but the world threw him away. After some troubles, his smile smaller. With every problem, his shoulders hung a little more. He walked a little slower to work. The world had given up on him, and so did his people, and so did he, a man in a world drowning in fees. Now this is for that bruja vibe. Sometimes you need some sage. You may not be around, but you are here on the sofa, laying on my sheets, haunting me. This one's for the women who feel voiceless. This one's called Lip Me. I wanted to disturb your peace today, but you chopped my lips off and handed them to me. Then told me it will be all right. I carried my lips in my hand for days, afraid of what people might say. But when we went into town, I wasn't the only one with lips in my palms. Seems I wasn't the only woman with something to say. Today's lips in my hands, tomorrow's lips on my face. What will the next day bring? My eyes in your hands, my teeth in your pocket, all because I speak, feel, breathe. And that's it for that one. I don't know where my page went. I don't remember it either. And this one's the last one. And it's a feel-good one. Maybe you know what it means, maybe you don't. But if you've been left legless, then you know what it means. The last time I laughed, I was with you. Do you remember that night? On your sofa, wrestled to the floor, moved to your bed. My love on your sheets, you my beautician for the view of me. And when I took your soul, you begged of me to leave your legs. Thank you, guys.
So, Jessica Wilson Carlinas is a Chicana poet born in East LA. She's a third-generation beatnik. She completed her BA in creative writing and art history from UC Riverside. Yes, child, she did. and obtained her Master of Fine Arts from Otis College of Art and Design in LA. In 2009, she founded the LA Poets Society and began a network of literary events and open mics such as Writers' Row, the DTLA Art Walk Showcase of the Written Art, Soapbox Poets Open Mic, Salon at NoHo Gallery 19, Labs presents on Full Spectrum, and Writer Wednesday. She teaches poetry with California Poets in Schools, the oldest nonprofit dedicated to the empowerment of our youth in California. She is currently an English teacher for LAUSD. Her books of poetry include What Breathes, Rock Kid, Mary Morrison, and most recently, Serious Longing, published by Swan World Press in Paris, France. She is an international poet, and you can find her in jessicamwilson.com. So everybody give it up for Jessica.
As we say, right? We're good together. So it's an honor to be here, just to be present with everybody. These awesome relationships, collaborations with Radio Ollin Valley Views, with Cafe Aficionado. And we're still here, LA Poet Society, in-person open mics, right? Back again. It's awesome. And, I've been really trying to write more and all these stories and all these ideas that I need to release. Because above it all, writing is healing, right? It's therapy. It's like, get these demons out, pull them off, take this Band-Aid off already. I'm tired of this wound, right? I'm just take it away. So that's what I've been trying to do. So, trying to get to writing more, but I got some oldies but goodies. I have some new stuff that I want to share. And also I want to share, I've been digging into my family tree. I did a DNA test recently. I was like, I want answers. Like, I don't know about all of you guys, but sorry, forgive me for any family members, but I gotta be real. That elitism, all families might have it. I think they do. And I'm just tired of only hearing the one side that they want to share with me about who's in my family and what I am or where everybody comes from and this and that. Part of that journey has led me to dig into my roots, but also to embrace my indigenous, culture and just history, just being from this land, like literally where we stand, as what it was in the beginning, not the United States of America, not necessarily like Aslan, but just the land I stand on, you know, and I've always had a connection with the wind. And well, yeah, I guess I'll start with that poem. So yeah, so I went back to, you know, the original, the elements, you know, to feel my own belonging. And anyhow, this is an ode to the wind that I wrote quite a while ago, but here in the valley, we know about the Santa Anas. Ode to the wind. I remember your power. Autumn Santa Anas blurring my sight. Grains of sand sticking to the baby hairs in my nose, leaving it raw. You always gave me the best hair days, wind-blown strands of red, yellow, black, and brown, whipping my neck in sync with my every step. Wind gradually blowing away my faults, you gently rock me to sleep on my worst days. Your whisper is inspiring to me, calming, telling me secrets, and it tickles my ears. I want to be locked inside your arms and never shut my windows. Let me travel with you, like the gull drawn towards the sea, giving in and dancing within your breeze. Stroking me when I am ill, you rub my face with your maternal wing, pushing aside my hair, leaving pink kisses on my cheeks. You leave me lying here, facing the moon's yellow lips. Just grant me one more thing. Keep me in sleep until your night is over. Thank you. All right, this is called Being Human. I'm gonna do Being Human. So this is dedicated to all the humans in the house. I see Lee in the back too, and Jessica. Woo woo! Thanks for coming, Lee, and everybody there in Cyberland and Radioland, Satellite Land. I know you're watching Google or whatever, Elon Musk and all that craziness. Being human. Feeling desolate in this space where time meshes into the host of my debt, an uncertain slumber of right, a net of collection. Why does it always come down to money? To raise your hopes, your praises, to make you feel like a good human, a happy human. Justify me this feeling of incompleteness, because I do not have enough paper to go around, taking away all the hands I owe. Is my life less valuable because I cannot pay someone today? Is my life less valuable because I do not have enough green to pay? Am I deemed to tire tread and sidewalk skid because I came up short? Well, how short of human am I since I have no green to give? Since when did paper inject itself into our veins? Did needles blend it into the stream of blood, plasma, capillaries, dust? There's no green in my blood. I am not rich. I am not paper. I'm human. Thank you. I want to also say happy Black History Month. And man, yes, Black History Month. Woo woo. And also, I've been observing, and I'm like, this has been a very loud and positive Black History Month, especially with, the Super Bowl and Inglewood and the entertainers that were on the floor, hip hop. It was just a celebration of amazing Blackness, right? Like, for real. And so I'm just like so happy to have witnessed that. I'm not a big, football person, but the fact of the matter is all those celebrated and that in that moment, in that time, and everything around was, it was celebrating Blackness, Black people, right? And I'm like, yes, that's beautiful. I'm happy to witness that. So power to the people, and let's stand up for each other, everybody. So I want to share a poem that I wrote. This one, so this is the anthology that we published, LA Poets for Justice, a document for the people. Rosalilia is also in this anthology, and yeah, I definitely dig anthologies. We amplify more voices, and we come together for a common purpose. Um, it's about to get a little deep here, but we gotta say the truth, right? So, let's see. I think on page 83. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Well, this is called The Invasion. And this one is in particular for Meli Corrado, who is a friend of mine, a family friend that was killed by cops, and also for Andy Lopez, who was killed by cops. Why not say anything? Why not do anything? Why not make a move to improve the way you see me? Brown skin capturing light, eyes brown like the roots of Mother Earth, into my mother, into my grandfathers, into my land. Yes, this is our land. You extended yourself overseas to join us on Turtle Island, the land occupied by red, black, and brown bodies. Totems in the air made to honor our senses, our connection to the gods that bring us wind, fire, rain, clouds, ocean, song, balance, and fertility to the cycles that exist to create us. You make us try so hard to breathe through your tyranny, to be able to exist freely, playfully, spirit of life that smiles to greet existence. But you came here to conquer, silence all bodies, or wrongfully bed them to make them yours. Our bodies do not belong to you. We do not need to silence our skin because your eyes cannot stand to hold the blessing of the sun upon our cuerpos. We glow because we belong to the earth. We glow because our life pulsates to the song of our skin, vibrations, humming, beauty. It's where we belong. We will gladly share earth with you if you mute your inclination to kill us. Andy Lopez was murdered by police in Santa Rosa, California in 2013 for carrying a toy gun. He was 13 years old. And Meli Corrado was murdered by police in LA in 2018 in a crossfire between police and a suspect while she was working inside Trader Joe's. All right, so a lot of my journey, I'll probably do like 3 more poems and we'll close it up. But, I've been trying to learn about my history. It's always bugged me because my name is Jessica Marie Wilson. And my body and my name, to many people, they don't make any sense. They don't match. If my name was Jessica Sanchez or Jessica, Ramirez or Hernandez, they probably wouldn't question me. But they always did. So as a kid, and I'm from Los Angeles, and my parents were from Arizona. And it's not until the generation before them that now I found out that they were, indeed, from the Sonoran Desert. They're Mexican. So I'm proud Mexicana, Chicana. But it took me a long time to figure it all out because I had my family who are saying, you're Spanish Irish. It's like, okay, cool. So the Wilson thing is an Irish thing, all right. But the thing is this. A lot of Mexicans, they like to claim that they're Spanish and ignore their indigeneity, ignore that they might be indios or successors of someone that was indigenous. So it always gets buried. And doing my research and also talking with other people, like you feel your own pain because you're an effect of what they did before you. But then you come to understand those before you and why they did what they did. And so my parents were born in the 40s, and a lot of like Mexican Americans or Chicanos, they were all trying to like be very American to the whitest American to prove that they're from here and fit in and belong and all this. So it was a tactic, I suppose, of protection for themselves to just claim how whitewashed indeed they were. But it definitely hurt their offspring because people like me question, like, who are we? Like, where am I? And what I would get when I would get asked, hey, what are you? And I would answer or say, hey, yeah, I'm from LA. They'll be like, they'd walk away from me, you know? Other brown kids that look like me, they wouldn't get me because I didn't say, hey, yeah, I'm from Sonora. Or yeah, my parents are from, you know, Sinaloa. Or like, so I was cut out. And then the people that were white, they look at me and be like, well, she's just, yeah, you know, she's not one of us, a Mexican girl, I guess, you know, whatever. Like, I was always on the outs. But you said, not aquí or not, you know, not here or there. It sucks. It's hard. It's so hard. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this whole, we got the DNA thing. I'm going to go look at my genealogy and I'm going to find my people. And I have. And I've discovered, because one of the great mysteries was like, who is my grandpa's dad? Who, like, I don't know, like I know one whole family tree and then the other parent was like invisible. So like I was like, well, I'm a cocktail of who they were too. I want to know who they were. So anyway, fast forward. I found a cool discovery, and I'm still trying to hone it down. But I discovered that my great grandpa was a Buffalo soldier, and the Buffalo soldiers were the black regiment of military, you know, after Civil War. So that makes me think, so am I descendant of a Buffalo soldier? Does that mean, you know, that I'm black? I'm like, what? You know, so that's pretty exciting and also liberating for me because one of the things I would tell myself is, dang, if I got to say my dad was a black guy, because Wilson is also a pretty common black last name, and I'm like, it would make more sense when they see me, because it's like trying to convince someone, oh yeah, I'm an Irish kid, like how I look. They were just like, yeah, right, you know. It's been hard. But anyway, I wanted to share a piece. I wanted to share a new poem about that experience. Here we go. And I have it open here. And it's called In the Heart. And this one's fresh off the pen. Actually, fresh off the spoken word is more like it, but. Buffalo soldier, dreadlock Rasta. He was a buffalo soldier in the heart of America. I won't pretend to know the black experience. I never got to live the black experience, but I do know the brown experience, treading between the white and gray, not knowing where to fit in or in between, which lines to box myself in. Why does it have to be a box? Why not be a flow, like a drop of water moving from one place into another, nurturing, saturating everything it touches? Blending in with the obscene and with the real, with the miracle or the unique or creative that always is in these hands that I draw upon. Ancestors, what do you see when you see me? Do you see eyes that roam in blackness? Do you see eyes that roam in whiteness? These eyes that stare to heaven, do you see eyes that stare into light, into the electricity that makes me one with you, dear ancestor, buffalo soldier? I know your name. I've known your name my whole life without even knowing it, Joseph Wilson. You've been in the name of my Father and in the name of your Son. At last you are revealed to me, real on paper, real in my veins. The question that has always made me frown, who are you? Where are you? Where are you from? What are you? Is being a girl not enough? Is being alive not enough? Walking human next to you in the streets, in the classroom, behind doors, not enough? Now, I know the fantasy I've made behind the name I've always known to be real. It's not a white face, but a shade of black. And in between African, in between Indian, in between Latinx, I am here. I stand. I'm part of the chain of command. Just a buffalo soldier in the heart of America. Just a buffalo soldier, buffalo soldier. Thank you so much. Oh man, it feels good to share that. And dang, it just feels good to know truth. Like, know your truth, you know. Even, I think it was Jessica, or maybe it was Rosalilia, but who said it, but like those betrayals, a lot of that betrayal happens or that you get is from the ones closest to you, and sometimes your own family, and sometimes they just want to tell you a version of what they think is true. And I don't know. I say do your own digging, come to your own acceptance, or just, you got to be comfortable who you are, and you got to embrace the identity that you choose. So just dig until you're super happy with that. And, don't let other people dictate your truth. And a lot of that, they're just, I know I'm not. I was like, so it's not the Irish Wilson, it's the Black Wilson. Like hell yeah. So I don't know. I feel good about that. And I also feel good knowing that, yes, most of my family did come from the Sonoran Desert. So, the Nopal right here is also accurate, and I'm happy. And I love your poem, The Crown of the Nopales. That's so beautiful. And, yeah, anyways, it feels good to be here, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you, everybody, for attending. I'm Jessica Wilson, now Jessica M. Wilson Cardenas. I do hide behind Juan's name, too. I'm like, it makes sense, right, with the Cardenas. I'm like, I have less trouble. But, I mean, it's my own burden, I guess. But, you know how I feel. I'm all full of love. I'm full of love. But, just stuff when you're a kid. It's just so hard when people are always judging you. Stuff sticks with you. So anyway, be good to each other. Keep writing, and this is the first of many, with Valley Views with Cafe Aficionado. This is our spot here in Northridge, which we're really happy to have. And, don't be a stranger, guys. And we check out our table. We have lots of books here, information. Let's also take a group picture before everybody goes. Next week, I'm going to be on our IG Live, Los Angeles Poet Society, on Friday at 6 p.m. with Shonda Buchanan. And we are going to be talking about how folks whitewashed our history. Because doing that research, I found that even if you were Mexican, in the census, you were marked as a W for being white. So that's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Yeah, like the same thing, it's just, it's all false. And then when those ancestors of ours are like, oh, yes, I'm white. And it's like, and they're telling you, and you're brown as heck. And you're like, nah, they look like white to me. And also, I don't get treated as the same way as that little white girl or that little white boy, like, just dang, they messed it all up. So those records are so false. So we're going to be talking about that. And she's Black Indian, which I love. I love that because a lot of folks aren't talking about it because everyone assumes if you're Black, oh, it's African, just African, Black African, or African American. Like, there's so many Black people on the earth. There's roots in different places. So I like that Shonda brings that out, in the open. And yes, so we're going to be talking. And next Thursday, we have our One Mic, One Globe on our Zoom at 7. Y'all welcome to join, but just stay connected. Thank you so much, everyone. Woo-woo. Oh, yes, and on Tuesday, the 22nd, I'll be featuring for Expressions. Check me out at 6 p.m. on Zoom. So yes, so just stay online, stay in touch online, and you'll get all the flyers and all that good stuff. And one love, big love to everybody. Thank you.
Yo, it's Fernando. Shouts out to Valley Views, man. They played me on the station. I was like, let me make you a jingle. So this is my jingle I made for them. This is what I had to do. This is Valley Views. This is what I had to do. This is Valley Views. Got me singing like, eh, eh, eh. So what you want? Got me singing like, eh, eh, eh. So what you want? Got me singing like, eh, eh, eh. So what you want? Got me singing like, eh, eh, eh. So what you want? I wasn't tripping when I lost my job. No reason to lie to my mom. Now I've got 8, 9 to 5.